Also, who really sees the records? Really, no one else should. But how many records have you accidentally seen that maybe you shouldn't have? You don't have to nod yes. So, illegitimate use of an individual's genetic information is something that we need to consider in these tests. Another thing we don't want people to do, whether it's prescribers or staff or patients themselves, is to sort of get into genetic tunnel vision, where they're really focused. There's a lot of focus on genetics today. It's important to keep in mind, though, that this genetic testing is a tool, right? I mean, we've said it 3 times, I'll say it again. It's not an instruction book. It's a guidebook, right? Just to help you. In rare cases, genes determine just a small percentage of the risk of acquiring an illness or response to medication. There are other factors: age, lifestyle, general health, psychiatric symptoms, the severity, co-occurring conditions. These are all different factors that we also have to consider that can play a role in how we respond to medications. It's not just genes. Sometimes those other things play a greater role than genes. So this is just a tool, but it shouldn't be the only thing you look at. Also, with the improvements of technology and easy access to these patient records, providers have to assess if these results would be harmful for the patients to have them. What if they get this red, what is it? It's red, orange, and green, sheet. They don't know. They see this and think, oh, I need to only be taking the meds in green, or I'm in red. Clearly, my provider's incompetent. I'm gonna, say something, or I'm gonna come file a complaint, or, so you do have to consider whether too much information is a bad thing for certain individuals. Some patients just can't handle it. There's also many genetic tests that are used to determine if a person has a particular condition, or if they're predisposed to one, like cystic fibrosis or Huntington's disease. Knowing the results of those tests are, I'd say, essential, right? You need to know if you have Huntington's, right? You can't ignore that. Thankfully, though, the results of pharmacogenetics don't necessarily have the same life-altering effects as, I just found out I have Huntington's, as opposed to, I just found out I can't take Effexor. That really doesn't have as big of an impact.